I'm here walking through the Alps, and it's kind of great because you don't meet many mountain lions like you do back home in Canada. The only thing that you can do is you can meet some of these cows like I'm walking past right now. These alpine cows are really amazing. They're almost like mountain goats back home. They go up pretty steep inclines. And I was thinking that sometimes, our relationships are similar to that, like our relationship between a mountain lion and a relationship with a cow, because the relationship with the mountain lion is very clear that he's not our friend, that he can be very, very, very dangerous. And sometimes a relationship to another person, it's very obvious that what's happening, it's just a very bad situation, right? Because the other person not at all being respected. There's a lot of animosity, a lot of fighting, etc. But sometimes our relationship can be like with these cows. On the surface, it seems that everything is just great. You seem to be almost like on the same level. They come up to you and they greet you and they say hi, or they run away sometimes. But a lot of times these guys are really curious. They come up, let you pet them, and you kind of think you're on par and everything is just great and there's a great relationship. But really, if you look a little bit deeper, it's not like that at all. Why? Because we're using these guys, we're using them for their milk, we're using them for their calves, and we're using them for their meat. And that's what can happen also in a relationship. That sometimes on the surface it looks like everything's more or less okay, but really in our hearts what we're doing is we're using them. We're using the other person. We're not really respecting that other person in a sense that he's really or she's really on the same level. But really, I'm using that person emotionally to get my own fill, to get my that emotional hole that I myself might have. I might be using the other person to kind of fill that hole. I might be making accusations in a very subtle way. Honey, you really do love me, don't you? And the other person's all immediately put in a corner and has to defend himself and kind of feels bad about it, doesn't really understand why. Why? Because all of a sudden you've kind of stepped over a boundary of respect, of love that you shouldn't really be stepping over. And how beautiful it is when really relationships are relationships of friendship where the other person really is respected, is not seen as a means to an end, is not seen as the way to get to the meat, the way to fulfill my passion, the means to get what I want, right? So anyway, I just hope and pray for all of us that we might ever more build relationships which are real relationships of true friendship. God bless from the Alps. Good old Bess here.